According to an official from the Indian Railways, a signalling system error was responsible for the tragic crash that resulted in the loss of 275 lives. Following a recent statement from the Odisha government, the number of deaths has been updated to 275. However, a senior state official had earlier stated that the death toll was over 300 on Sunday morning. The official chose to remain anonymous as they were not authorized to speak to the press. According to Jaya Verma Sinha, a high-ranking railway official, initial investigations indicated that the Coromandel Express was initially given clearance to run on the primary track line, although the signal changed at a later point, leading the train to enter a nearby loop line instead, where it collided with a freight train carrying iron ore. According to her, the collision resulted in the coaches of Coromandel Express flipping onto a different track, which in turn led to the derailment of the Yeshwanthpur-Howrah Express approaching from the opposite direction. According to her statement, the passenger trains, which had a total of 2,296 individuals on board, were not exceeding the designated speed limit. Typically, freight trains are stationed on an adjacent loop line to allow the main line to remain unobstructed for the passage of other trains. According to Verma, the reason behind the crash can be attributed to a flaw in the electronic communication system. It remains to be seen whether the flaw was due to human error or technical malfunction, as a comprehensive investigation will be conducted to ascertain the exact cause. The electronic interlocking system is a safety feature that has been created to prevent any contradictory movements between trains. Additionally, it keeps track of signal statuses that convey to drivers how near they are to the next train, the velocity they should maintain, and the presence of unmoving trains along the track. Verma stated that the system has a high degree of accuracy, with a 99.9% error-free rate. However, there is always a slight possibility of error, with a 0.1% chance. When asked if the crash could have been a result of sabotage, Verma responded by saying that all possibilities were being considered and nothing was being dismissed. The remnants of the disaster on Sunday were a few broken and overturned carriages. Under the scorching sun, railway workers labored to lay down cement blocks to repair the damaged tracks. At the same time, a team of excavators was clearing the debris and mud from the crash site. Survivors recounted the horrifying experience of the crash moment at a hospital situated approximately 15 kilometers, 9 miles away from the site. Inda Mahato, a pantry worker, could not recollect the precise order of events that took place. However, he did recall hearing a deafening noise when the Coromandel Express collided with the freight. The collision was so severe that Mahato, who happened to be in the bathroom at the time, momentarily lost his consciousness. Upon regaining consciousness a short time later, he opened his eyes and was met with a harrowing sight. Through the door that had been forcibly opened, he could see countless individuals contorted in agony, with some having already passed away. Meanwhile, others were desperately attempting to escape from the mangled remains of his rail car. After being trapped in the train's bathroom for several hours, Mahato, who is 37 years old, was finally rescued by responders who climbed up the wreckage to retrieve him. Lying in his hospital bed, recovering from a hairline fracture in his sternum, he expressed his gratitude, saying, "I am lucky to be alive. I owe it all to the grace of God." Mahato recounted the unfortunate fate of his acquaintances, who were not as fortunate as him. Regrettably, the crash claimed the lives of 4 of them, he revealed. Amidst the chaos, numerous distressed family members found themselves grappling with the grim task of identifying the remains of their beloved. The extent of the injuries inflicted made this a difficult and gruesome process. Meanwhile, a handful of others were scouring hospitals in a desperate attempt to locate any surviving relatives. While Mahato was recuperating from his injuries in the hospital, Bulti Khatun wandered around the vicinity in a bewildered state, clutching her husband's identity card, who was en route to southern Chennai aboard the Coromandel Express. Despite visiting multiple hospitals and even the morgue, Khatun was unable to locate him. As tears streamed down her face, she uttered, "I feel completely powerless." On Saturday evening, 15 bodies were retrieved from the site of the accident. The extraction efforts persisted through the night, aided by the use of weighty cranes to lift an engine that had come to rest on a railroad car. None of the bodies were found within the engine, and the operation was brought to a close on Sunday morning. Sudhanshu Sarangi, the Director General of Fire and Emergency Services in Odisha, confirmed this. At a time when Prime Minister Narendra Modi is emphasizing the modernization of India's British colonial-era railroad system, the crash took place. India is now the world's most populous country, with 1.42 billion people. Despite the government's efforts to promote safety, hundreds of accidents occur each year on India's railways, which is the largest train network managed by a single entity in the world. On Saturday, Modi made a visit to the crash site and held discussions with rescue officials. He also took a trip to a local hospital to check on the well-being of those who were injured and had conversations with a few of them. During a press conference, Modi expressed his empathy for those affected by the crash. He assured the public that the government would make every effort to provide assistance to those in need and would take firm action against those found responsible for the incident. One of the most catastrophic rail accidents in India occurred in 1995, when two trains crashed near New Delhi, resulting in the deaths of 358 individuals. Another unfortunate incident took place in 2016, where a passenger train derailed while traveling from Indore to Patna, claiming the lives of 146 people. The cause of the majority of accidents in India is often attributed to either human error or the use of outdated signalling equipment. India's railway system sees a staggering 22 million commuters travel across 64,000 kilometers, 40,000 miles of track, on 14,000 trains each day. To support our channel's growth and ensure broader awareness, kindly hit the like and subscribe buttons. This will help us reach more individuals and disseminate valuable information. Thank you in advance.